In today's episode, the president has authorized military personnel to deploy to Portland, Oregon. This comes as Antifa and far-left groups continue to violently attack ICE detention facilities. And guess what Democrats' reactions are? I'm going to show it to you in this video, including what both sides are saying, and then give you the bottom line.
A developing story for you. President Trump just announcing plans to send troops to Portland. The president calling the city a war-ravaged area and authorizing full force if necessary. We're talking about the National Guard here. Trump pointed to recent protests and attacks targeting ICE facilities as justification for the deployment, saying he'll provide troops to protect ICE facilities under siege from attack by Antifa and other domestic terrorists. Now, no word yet on when exactly those troops will be on the ground in Portland. We will be tracking the story as it develops. Data is showing that homicide in Portland fell 8% from 2023 to 2024. The city is also recording less homicides in 2024, dropping from 73 in 2023 to 67 last year. Following the math there.
Okay, so here's the bottom line up front. If I was the president, I also would choose Portland, Oregon. Why is that? Because I just signed an executive order targeting groups like Antifa, okay? That's their headquarters, essentially. You want to see all the political rhetoric and violence and rioting, look no further than Portland, Oregon. So that's a smart play on his behalf. Secondly, because Democrats cannot get in control of their base and people like Antifa continue to attack federal property like these ICE detention facilities, they're basically giving the president the authority to do this. You cannot attack federal property and think the president won't respond. He has the legal authority to do that. And finally, these people like Antifa and these other far left groups are not going to back down. It's already coming out on social media that Antifa and communists have said they refuse to back down and plan to escalate their rioting. They have called for militant reinforcements in Seattle and Los Angeles. They've already had a flyer go out that's titled Feds out of Portland, ICE out of Portland, and they have a rally scheduled at the ICE facility in Portland tomorrow. So we know how that's going to go. But let's hear from the mayor what he had to say. Take a listen.
Still, the city's mayor argues an influx of federal agents serves no precedent or purpose. He says they did not ask for them to come.
We have a place at the table for everyone, willing to lend a hand, including the federal government. However, we have no tolerance for anyone in Portland who uses this difficult moment to hurt others or our home. Those with bad intentions should take a hike because they'll be held responsible for their actions.
And the president's order to send troops to Portland comes as Attorney General Pam Bondi deploys federal agents to ICE facilities across the country.
Okay, let's just think about what the mayor of Portland had to say. He doesn't want the federal authorities involved in Portland. He does not want the president deploying troops to Portland, but at the same time, he doesn't want anybody damaging his city and committing crimes. So, I mean, you just can't have it both ways because Antifa has been destroying Portland as we know it. So I think they're really conflicted here. And I believe Democrats continue to make a mistake when it comes to crime. And the reason why they're going to continue to do so, because when President Trump is for cracking down on crime, Democrats have to be against it. And they've done it to themselves. Now, here is what the Attorney General Pam Bondi had to say about increasing the federal authorities in these cities, including political violence. Take a listen.
We're witnessing a new era of political violence. Assassins have tried to murder President Trump twice and tried to kill Supreme Court Justice Kavanaugh. In Minnesota, legislators and even children attending Mass were gunned down in cold blood in 2 separate incidents. And an assassin targeted and murdered our friend Charlie Kirk. A sniper shot 3 people at a Texas ICE facility, and now more than 200 violent rioters were at a Chicago ICE facility chanting, "Arrest ICE, shoot ICE." At least one had a gun. We've seen this before. We saw it in Portland and with the LA riots. These are not peaceful protests. These are coordinated attacks by radical extremists, and they end now. Anyone who threatens or assaults our federal officers will be arrested and charged federally, not in some liberal state court. Same goes for anyone who's funding and aiding these extremists. You will be dismantled brick by brick. We are taking our country back. Make America safe again.
All right, so that's the Attorney General. And the only thing I care about is in regards to what she had to say is the results of what she said. So if you're going to come out in front of a camera and say all that, please deliver. Okay? Make an example out of these rioters. They are the ones that are actually terrorizing these cities. Okay? It's good that the president has already designated Antifa as a terrorist organization, which gives the federal authorities more resources to go after these people. So that's great. And hopefully the Department of Justice follows suit and everything she says comes to pass. I really hope that happens. Now, what I don't like is when Hakeem Jeffries comes out and with his response, he wants everybody to ignore all that and ignore the violent protests, etc. He wants people to be scared that the Department of Homeland Security has a hit list on Democrats. Take a listen.
Of Homeland Security has done. The Department of Homeland Security put out a hit list directed at Democratic members of Congress, Democratic governors, and Democratic officials. It's a hit list saying to crazies all across the country, target these people. And so, no, we're not going to be lectured by the Department of Homeland Security. Take your hit list down.
A hit list is what he's talking about. There are a lot of people, frankly, who would argue that's incredibly irresponsible to make that suggestion. 30 seconds. I want to give you a chance to respond.
He's detached from reality. We saw what just happened at our Dallas ICE facility, where it was shot up by a lunatic, by a deranged individual, and he's been emboldened, and others like him have been emboldened by a lot of the rhetoric we're seeing out of Democrat politicians like Hakeem Jeffries, who continues to demonize and dehumanize our ICE law enforcement, calling them Nazis, calling them the Gestapo. It has to stop now.
Okay, so this is serious right here. If you're stressed about back taxes because you missed the filing deadline back in April, don't wait. We know that the penalties are continuing to rise. They could be 5%, even up to 25%. This is why we partnered with Tax Network USA. They can take the burden off your shoulders and stop the spiral before it gets worse. They've helped thousands of Americans, whether you're an employee or business owner, with messy books, no problem. They've seen it all and they know exactly how to help you. With direct access to the powerful IRS programs and expert negotiators, they can even reduce what you owe or even eliminate it. And the best part is it all starts with a free consultation to see if you qualify. More importantly, they can protect you from wage garnishments or even bank levies. So don't wait for the next IRS letter. Call 1-800-958-1000 or visit tnusa.com/Devore to talk to a real expert at Tax Network USA. Again, you could call them at 1-800-958-1000 or visit tnusa.com/Devore. Now listen, there's a lot of opinions, okay, a lot of rhetoric, but I'm going to do my best to continue to show you proof that Portland is war raged. I mean, just look at this. This just happened a couple of days ago in Portland. It was reported that Ice Cube's tour bus was firebombed. Now, why would someone do that? Is it because his first name is Ice? His stage name? Is that what it is? They think there's some connection there? I mean, Portland has some issues. Just look at this. Look at this. They literally tried to burn down that bus. That's crazy. But hey, there's no crime problem in Portland. That's what Democrats want you to believe. And furthermore, they want you to believe that it's all President Trump's fault at the end of the day. And that's exactly what CNN is pushing. Take a listen.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired of conservatives gaslighting about the current political environment and Donald Trump's rhetoric when all of this escalation can be traced back to his entrance into American politics. His claim to fame was saying that Obama wasn't born in America. He was the first presidential candidate to have his crowd chant, "Lock her up," about a political opponent. You can bring up the insurrection. Even in the past few weeks, my home city of Chicago, he posted a photo of Chicago being invaded by the Department of War. So the broader point here is Donald Trump endlessly deflects and tries to blame it on the other side when he is the one responsible for amping up the tension in America. And I've spent all of my formative years throughout high school, throughout college, looking to the president, who I'm supposed to be able to look up to, and seeing somebody who's trying to place blame on the left, who's amping up the rhetoric constantly. And yeah, it's not good.
Actually, what's not good is people like him not taking responsibility for their own rhetoric. Let's just follow what he said and let's work with his logic. He says that the president and his rhetoric is outrageous. Then my question for him would be this: why do Democrats respond in the same way? Why do Democrats go beyond that and say that the president needs to be stopped? We need to take to the streets. I'm not understanding how two wrongs make a right if we're following his logic. And here's the second thing. I don't care what you say about the president. The results show that political violence on the left has skyrocketed, especially this year. Look no further than what happened at Tesla. Look no further than what happened to Governor Shapiro. Look no further than what happened to the Minnesota lawmakers. Look no further than what happened to Charlie Kirk. Just this year alone. Then throw in the ICE detention facilities that continue to be attacked and shot up. But he won't acknowledge that, and I wonder why. Because it ruins their argument. Now, to back up what I'm saying about this violence against ICE officials, look at the numbers that Fox News is reporting. Take a listen.
I want to share two graphics back to back. Just this is more instructive for the audience. I know you're well aware of this. This is the ICE agent assaults. Yeah. And we've talked about how this has been a real problem. But when you see the numbers, it really it's galling, frankly. More than 1,000% increase, according to DHS sources. And in case you're wondering, is this isolated? Let me just share what Antifa is said to be doing. We've got arrests. We've got a map here, and it's everywhere. It's from coast to coast. It's in major cities all around. And I think that underscores, Tricia, why this is so crucial that the president take action right now, not just to ensure the safety of ICE and law enforcement, but also, frankly, to ensure the safety of our communities.
Yeah, that is the right decision to protect federal property, including the lives of these ICE officials who are doing their job. And for the life of me, it's interesting how Democrats don't agree with that. In fact, they take it and they package it into, well, the president's just being authoritarian. Listen, no matter the side you're on, you have to understand that when you see physical assaults, it's not opinions, it's not theory or a conspiracy. You saw the Tesla vehicles being set on fire. You've seen the bullet holes in these ICE detention facilities. Okay, you've seen Charlie Kirk get assassinated. You've seen the Minnesota lawmaker get assassinated. This is not a theory. It is happening. Stop burying your head in the sand and thinking, oh, it's all the president's fault. No, it's not. Okay? And it's just sad that that's the way people want to approach this. It's not going to happen. People want to be safe. People want results. And what they don't want is this blame game that's continuing to increase. It just isn't going to get anything done.
So you think it's Donald Trump's fault that a deranged leftist climbed up to the top of a building and shot up the ICE facility, not once now, but twice in Texas?
I think it's Donald Trump's fault that America has gotten to this heated place. I think that
no responsibility for the radicalization on the left that's causing this violent outburst.
That 29-year-old is radicalized by online communities and online algorithms. I'm not going to blame that directly on Trump, but he was caught in a lot of online video game algorithms and all these communities. Donald Trump,
but it's Trump's
10
fault.
years ago, Donald Trump amped up the tension in America.
So he ran 10 years ago, and this guy then 10 years later, somehow you're connecting. Can't you just take responsibility for it?
Oh,
on the left.
But let's not do he has to take responsibility because he's a Democrat.
I'm a 22-year-old YouTuber. You want me to take more responsibility than the president of the United States?
I want you to understand.
I'm a 22-year-old YouTuber.
I want you to understand that we are in the middle of an epidemic of left-wing violence. They're attacking ICE. They shot Charlie. It's happening all over the country. We have these Free Palestine people running around trying to burn down the Pennsylvania governor's mansion. On and on
then
and
maybe
on.
The president,
it's not Trump's fault
the president of the
that
United
the left
States
is radicalized to the point of saying, we're done talking and we're going to start shooting.
Scott, the data indicates.
And what Scott Jennings is saying is spot on. That's not partisan. That's the reality. And the problem is Democrats refuse to face reality because they've been living in this world over the past 10 years where it's not in touch with reality. How do we know that? Just look at the language they've used. Look at the policies that they push. They are definitely out of touch with reality. That's why Donald Trump is the president again. Just think about it. If they were in touch with reality, they never would have ran Kamala Harris. So the results show that they're in the wrong. But again, if they want to continue to bang their head against the wall and say that it's Donald Trump's fault, they won't win on that because history has shown they're only going to lose. So I'm not really buying what he's saying, and I'm on the same page as Scott Jennings. And the reason why I feel so convicted in what I'm saying is just look at what people post online. Just look at this. Build community, organize, arm yourselves, protect your neighbors, and fight back. F ICE. Only good fascist is a bleep fascist. Here's another one. Unless you're actually going to take it to the next level, this is just theatrics. The only way to defeat fascism is through violence. What happens when the demonstration does nothing? What then? Oh, I got another one for you here. Here's Stephen Miller responding to Governor Newsom's press office that posted Stephen Miller is a fascist. Now, imagine that you had a bullet with the words written, hey, catch fascists that actually murdered someone, assassinated them on live TV, basically, which is Charlie Kirk, and they're still posting things like this. But hey, it's Donald Trump's fault. So that excuses our behavior. That's what they want us to buy in, and that's why I don't believe anything that they say. If they would accept responsibility and come back to the center, they would probably have a chance of a political future. They don't have one right now. The fact that Donald Trump's approval rating has declined, as they say, but it's higher than the Republicans, and the Republicans' approval rating is higher than the Democrats, I think that tells you everything you need to know about that.
I'm going to say something that's going to make this table and this audience very upset, but I want to tell the unvarnished truth. I think if the election were reheld today, Donald Trump would win by the same, if not a bigger margin. I think we forget this country.
How do you say that, though?
This country is so deeply polarized. If you hated him before, you hate him even more now. There are definitely people who are like, ooh, I'm having some buyer's remorse. But there's this poll today that shows that on the top issues people voted on, they still trust Republicans more. We are literally a 48-48 country, and then this little percentage in the middle that goes either way.
I would be curious who this poll, the age of the poll, because I think this probably gears younger in who is saying that, because anyone who has read their history books since the beginning of time, democracy may be fragile. It is the only way. You do not want a theocracy. You do not want a monarchy.
And that exchange sums up where we still are as a country, which is that Democrats scream about democracy while Republicans are focused on policies. Results, especially the president. And that's why that 2% that Alyssa was talking about will lean towards the president's way, because he's actually doing something. You may disagree with what he's doing, but he's doing something. You know what Democrats are doing? Nothing. They're just crying out loud every single day about democracy. And they forget this isn't a democracy. This is a republic. We will be fine. Okay? It's just the reality of what's going on. And it's unfortunate that they are not in touch with it. Let's hear from you guys in the comments section below. What do you make of the president deploying military personnel to Portland to protect these federal buildings? As we remember what happened in Los Angeles, he has the authority to do it. Even when Gavin Newsom sued him in court, he lost. Because when you are damaging federal property, that gives the president the authority to protect that property. And he can use military personnel to do it. So question here is, do you agree with that decision? And what do you make of the response from Democrats on this, particularly the mayor of Portland? Just give me all of your thoughts in the comment section below. Now, in our next video, that polling that Alyssa was referring to that shows Democrats are still hitting record lows in their approval rating, well, we get into that, including more attacks on these ICE detention facilities. So if you miss out on the updates from yesterday, all you have to do is click on that video because it's coming up right now.